Hello, dear children. Let's start new topic. Valence bond theory. Let's know something about its history. This theory was proposed by Linus Pauling, and he was awarded the Nobel Prize for Chemistry in 1954. The theory was very widely used in the period of 1940 to 1960. Since then, it has to some extent fallen out of fashion. However, it is still much used by organic chemists, and it provides a basis of simple description of small inorganic molecules. Now see what this theory says. Atoms with unpaired electrons. Atoms with unpaired electrons means single electrons. In the orbital, there should be single electron. Combine with each other atom which also have unpaired electrons means unpaired electron is combining with the other atom which is also having unpaired electron. Okay, in this way the unpaired electrons are paired and the atoms involved all attain a stable arrangement. This is usually a full shell of electrons, or we can say that noble gas configuration. You have to remember that two electrons shared between two atoms constitute a bond. Means one electron is here, one electron is here. When they will constitute, they will make one bond. And the number of bonds formed by an atom is usually the same as the number of unpaired electrons in the ground state. Okay, in hydrogen there is one electron, so with other hydrogen it will make single bond, one bond. And the number of bonds formed by the atom usually the same as the number of unpaired electrons in the ground state, that is the lowest energy state. However, in some cases the atom may form more bonds than this. This occurs by excitation of the atom. I will show you the configuration and how the electrons are getting excited. And this only happens when we provide the energy. When electrons which were paired in the ground state are unpaired and promoted into suitable empty orbitals, you will see that how paired electrons, when energy is being given to them, they are getting excited and they are just occupying the empty orbitals, and this increase the number of unpaired electrons. When paired electron will jump to the empty orbital, so you will see that number of unpaired electrons are increasing, and hence the number of bonds which can be formed. As much as the number of unpaired electron, that much of bonds will be formed. And the shape of the molecule is determined primarily by the direction in which the orbitals point. Electrons in the valence shell of the original atom which are paired are called lone pairs. Okay, if in the orbital the electrons are paired, that will be known as lone pairs, and in the orbital with the unpaired electrons are there, that they are responsible for overlapping on formation of bonds. So a covalent bond results from the pairing of electrons, one from each atom, and the spins of the two electrons must be opposite. Antiparallel their spin should be, because of the Pauli's exclusion principle, that no two electrons in one atom can have all four quantum numbers the same. So let's consider few molecules. hydrogen, one electron, and both is in s orbital. So 2s orbital will overlap. And how they are overlapping? As you know that this is your hydrogen atom. In the center is nucleus and one electron is there in one shell. This is the other hydrogen atom. In center, nucleus is present and one electron. Now what will happen? This electron is attracted with the nucleus. When they will come closer, what will happen? This electron will be attracted with this nucleus and this electron will be attracted towards this nucleus. So when they will come closer and they will overlap and bond will be formed. Okay, as much the overlap will be, the much the strong bond will be formed. This is only the valence bond theory. Okay, in HF, hydrogen is a singly occupied s orbital that overlaps with a singly filled 2p orbital of fluorine. You can see here hydrogen, p orbital. This type of HF is being formed. Like this fluorine, you can see p orbital of fluorine is reacting with p orbital of fluorine, and this overlapping you can see. This px is this type of overlapping. This is the overlapping. Okay, new molecules, hydrogen chloride. You can see that hydrogen 1 electron, chlorine 1 electron, and this in the p electron. Now which electron this will be? As you know that p has shape px, py, pz. If we will make x axis, y axis, z axis, this is px, this is py, and this is pz. Okay, so any one will be there, maybe px. So this is electron is in px. This is reacting overlap. This is the overlap structure of HCl. Okay, now let's see the formation of methane. I want a clean slide. Yes, it is. Now let's see formation of methane. In methane, carbon atom in its ground state has the electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. So in 2px1 and 2py1. Okay, and only has two unpaired electrons and so can form only two bonds, 2px1, 2py1. These two electrons are unpaired. So as I have said that unpaired electron, number of unpaired electron, that much of bond will be formed. So in the excited state, let's see the ground state configuration of carbon. In the ground state, this is 1s, 2s, 2p. So px, 2px, 2py, 2pz. In 1s, 2 electrons are there. In 2s, 2 electrons. In 2p, 1 in 2px, 1 in 2py. Okay, this is the ground state electronic configuration. Now see the excited state configuration. 1s, 2s, 2px, 2py, 2pz. Now what will happen? This paired electron, one will jump from here to 2pz. This will be the excited state of carbon atom. Okay, now what can happen? This is the carbon atom electronic configuration when four hydrogen atom will come and combine. So how this is one electron of hydrogen, 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 hydrogen. So this four bonds of hydrogen will combine, and this is your sp3 hybridization and four electrons of hydrogen. And with this only the shape of methane molecule is not immediately apparent. The p orbitals, so we can see the three p orbitals px, py and pz are mutually at right angles to each other, and the s orbital is spherically symmetrical. If the p orbitals were used for bonding, then the bond angle in water should be 90 degree, and the bond angles in ammonia should also be 90 degree. The bond angles actually found differ appreciably from these. As you, if you remember, in methane, we have seen that in methane, hydrogen carbon hydrogen bond is found 109 degree 28 minute. In ammonia, hydrogen nitrogen hydrogen was 107 degree 48 minute. In water, the hydrogen, what is happening, oxygen, hydrogen oxygen hydrogen bond was found 104 degree 27 minutes. Okay, this was about the valence band theory. Now let's see the formation of sigma and pi bonds. All the bonds formed in these examples result from end-to-end overlap of orbitals and are called sigma bonds. You have to remember, children, whenever the bond is getting formed, the first bond always will be a sigma bond. The second bond will be the pi bond, and the third bond also will be the pi bond. So whenever the bond is getting formed, the first bond will be sigma bond. Okay, and in sigma bonds, the electron density is concentrated in between the two atoms and on a line joining the two atoms. Double or triple bond occurs by the sidewise overlap of orbitals, giving pi bonds. In pi bonds, the electron density also concentrates between the atoms, but on either side of the line joining the atoms. The shape of the molecule is determined by the sigma bonds and lone pairs, but not by the pi bonds. Remember this, that the shape of the molecule is determined by the sigma bonds and lone pairs, but not by the pi bonds. Pi bonds merely shorten the bond lengths. Just consider the structure of the carbon dioxide molecule. This is your carbon dioxide molecule. Since carbon is typically 4 valent and oxygen is typically 2 valent, the bonding can be simply represented by this. Okay, and triatomic molecule must be either linear or angular. In CO2, the carbon atom must be excited to provide 4 unpaired electrons to form the 4 bonds required. Just now you have seen for methane I have written the configuration in the ground state: 1s, 2s, 2p, 2px, 2py, 1 electron was there. In the excited state, what will happen? The 2s electron will jump to 2pz, and 4 orbitals are now singly filled, and they will Let me draw it again to show you the sigma and pi bonds. Concentrate again for the same thing. In the ground state of carbon, 1s, 2s, 2p. 1s, 2s, 2p. Okay, in the ground state you will find this configuration. In the first excitation state, we will get this configuration. Okay, now what will happen? This 4 will be paired by the bonds, by the electrons of oxygen, and now you can see that this 2 will make sigma bond and this 2 will make pi bond. Okay, so there are 2 sigma bonds and 2 pi bonds in the molecule. You can see that carbon, oxygen, oxygen. As I have said that first bond always will be a sigma bond. So 2 sigma bond and the second bond is the pi bond. So 2 sigma and 2 pi bond is found. Pi orbitals are ignored in determining the shape of the molecule. The remaining s and p orbitals are used to form the sigma bonds. Alternatively, VSEPR theory suggests that 2 orbitals overlap with p orbitals from 2 oxygen atoms, forming a linear molecule with a bond angle of 180 degree. The 2px and 2py orbitals on carbon used for pi bonding are at right angles to the bond and overlap sideways with p orbitals on the oxygen atom at either side. This pi overlap shortens the carbon-oxygen distance but does not affect the shape. Okay, and you have to remember that sigma bond and pi bonds are formed by the overlapping. So when SS overlapping, you will see SS, as you know that shape of s orbital is spherical. So when SS is overlapping, this type of overlapping will be done. They are overlapping and this will be the final structure of overlapped orbital. Okay, when S and P, here S is your spherical and P is your dumbbell shape. So now the P can be either PX, PY or PZ. So first, whichever will combine will form a sigma bond. If next is combining, definitely it will make a pi bond. When P and P is combining, this is head on, they are combining. So these are the strong bond. You have to remember that sigma bond is a strong bond. And pi bond is being formed by sideways overlapping. And you can see that only small portion is getting attached, so it is easy to detach them. So pi bonds are your weak bonds. Okay, so this was all about your valence band theory and bond theory and your sigma and pi bonds. Next, I will start MOT, that is molecular orbital theory. So thank you, children.